All right, today we're jumping into what is basically a high-stakes courtroom drama right out of the Bible's book of Acts. It's an incredible story about how one man's defense for his very life turned into a powerful declaration of a mission that literally would change the world. You know, this one sentence right here from Acts chapter 26 is the heart of the whole thing. It's a bold, unapologetic statement from a man on trial, and it just perfectly frames the big idea. When you get a call from God, the only real response is obedience, no matter what it costs you. I mean, can you just imagine that for a second? You're standing in front of the most powerful people you know, and your entire defense hangs on this one claim. I was just obeying a vision. This is way more than just a historical event. It's a powerful look at a life that was completely turned upside down by a single divine moment. Okay, so let's really paint the picture here. The Apostle Paul isn't in a church or a synagogue. No, he's a prisoner. He's in chains, and he's making his case before King Agrippa and the Roman governor Festus. The accusations have been flying, and it has all led to this single moment. Everything is on the line.
But here's what's so wild. You'd expect panic, right? Fear? Not from Paul. Instead, he starts with respect, with this incredible confidence. He doesn't see this as a trial to be afraid of. He sees it as a golden opportunity to tell his story. The story of what, and more importantly, who changed him forever.
Now, to really get the sheer power of his story, you have to understand who this guy was before all this happened. Because before he was Paul the Apostle, he was Saul the Pharisee. He was part of this super strict Jewish sect, totally obsessed with the law. And his mission in life? Well, it was the exact opposite of what it was about to become. And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? The change is it's night and day. Look over on the left, Saul the Pharisee. This guy was so consumed with hunting down followers of Jesus that he had them thrown in prison. He even says he cast his vote to have them killed. Now look to the right, Paul the Apostle. He becomes a servant and a witness for the very Jesus he was trying to destroy. The man obsessed with persecuting is now sent to preach grace. It's truly one of the most radical transformations in all of history. So you've got to be asking, what on earth could cause someone to do a complete 180 like that? Well, it all comes down to one single event. A vision from heaven on a dusty road that completely altered the course of history. And Paul lays it all out for the king. He says he was on the road to Damascus, he had letters of authority from the chief priests. His goal? To hunt down even more believers and drag them back to Jerusalem for punishment. He was a man on a mission of destruction. And then, bam, right around noon, it all changes. A light from heaven, he says it was brighter than the midday sun, just explodes around him and everyone with him. They all hit the dirt, completely overwhelmed by this divine interruption. So in this moment, totally floored, blinded by the light, Saul asks the most important question of his entire life. He knows he's encountering something divine, and he cries out, "Who are you, Lord?" And the answer, this just shatters his whole reality. The voice from the light says, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting." The person he thought he was serving God by fighting against was, in fact, God himself. The enemy he was hunting was the Lord of heaven. Just unbelievable. But here's the amazing part. This encounter wasn't just to stop Paul in his tracks. It was to commission him. God didn't just knock down an enemy in judgment. He raised him up with a brand new God-given purpose. He was turning him from the deepest darkness into glorious light. So Jesus gives him this incredible 4-part mission, and Paul spells it out right here in Acts 26. Let's just walk through it. First, he's sent to open their eyes to what's spiritually true. Second, to turn them from darkness to light, a complete change in direction for their lives. Third, to move them from the power of Satan to God, which is really a transfer of citizenship from one kingdom to another. And what's the amazing result of all this? That they might receive forgiveness of sins. This is a rescue mission, plain and simple, designed and launched by God himself. So you see, Paul's defense before the king isn't really a defense at all. It's a declaration of his new mission. And here's the thing. This isn't just some ancient history lesson for us. The principles behind Paul's calling, they are absolutely for every single believer. Okay, so the first big takeaway for us today is this. God saves us for a mission. Just like with Paul, getting saved isn't the finish line. It's the starting pistol. It's the beginning of a whole new story where God commissions us to be his witnesses, to share the light that he has poured into us. We are saved to be sent. And that leads right into our second big takeaway. If you've received that kind of incredible grace, what's the natural response? Well, it's obedience. Paul's life is the perfect picture of this. God's grace didn't make him comfortable or complacent. It made him courageous and faithful. You see, when we really start to get the depth of the mercy we've been shown, obedience stops feeling like a chore and starts becoming this joyful, grateful yes to the one who called us.
So what's the bottom line here? Where does all this leave us? It all comes down to this one powerful, actionable challenge. Paul's story challenges every single one of us to live a life that is completely centered on the gospel, the good news that Jesus saves us, changes us, and then sends us. His defense before a king really becomes a question for all of us. Are we, like him, being obedient to the vision from heaven?